30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
What's up, everybody in the background? I see you guys starting to file in nice and cordial like. I'm still getting ready in the background to make sure everything all lined up. So stand by, look for the timer. When the timer gets going, I will be live in 5. Be right there.
Off the limb. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Columbia, this is Houston, AOS, over.
Houston, Columbia on the high gate, over.
Roger, the EVA is progressing beautifully. They're setting up the flag now. I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
That's all right, I don't mind a bit.
They got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the Lindsay.
Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit the timer. Get things rolling. It was supposed to say 2 p.m. start, but didn't get around to doing that. So, oh, here's a 5-minute countdown. God, don't skip. I don't want to play any other videos. Listen to this. It's better. I'll put up on here on the chat. It's 2:02 right now. So whoever's watching in the future, it'll be 5 minutes from now. So it'll be 2:07 when I'll come back and I'll just start this thing. It's too hoppy and skippy.
20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
off the limb. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Columbia, this is Houston, AOS, over.
Houston, Columbia on the high gate, over.
Roger, the EVA is progressing beautifully. They're setting up the flag now. I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
That's all right, I don't mind a bit.
They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar.
Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston?
Neil, yes, we are getting a TV picture. You're in our field of view now.
I'd like to evaluate the various paces that a person can traveling on the lunar surface. You do have to be rather careful to keep track of where your center of mass is. Sometimes it takes about 2 or 3 paces to make sure that you set your feet underneath you.
Let's go ahead and get this started. What's up, everybody? Welcome. All kinds of noises. I don't have my buttons. Or do I? No, I do, but I don't. Don't have the adapter. Damn it. Oh well. Anywho's, I'm going through this footage today of the V3 RiteSpec. You guys keep talking. Don't worry about me. We've done this long enough. Keep fucking talking over there. Yeah, you're throwing me off. I'm live, goddammit.
You're not used to Marty being quiet.
Well, Marty's not quiet. I don't have his mic's right there. You can talk into it because I want you to tell people what the hell you just told me. Yeah, and I don't have my buttons to say applause and yay, but
I'm gonna build me a
hold on. Let me get you queued up because I've got a camera over there for Marty. You can stay right where you are. Marty will hand it to you. Yay, rah! So there's one of my best buds. This is Mr. Locksmith, and he's the one that taught me everything I know. Yes, you do. You stay right where you were. Sit in that brown chair. Yeah, sit in that brown chair. All right, they're changing everything. They're throwing me a curveball. Benny Hill song playing in the background? Yes. Marty, the camera's over there. It's on top of your thing.
I feel like I'm on the Johnny Carson show.
Oh, that's what you're supposed to feel like.
Yeah, sit right there.
Is your mic working?
Sit right there.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm on YouTube.
There you go. Now you're on YouTube. Yay. Locksmith made it. What's up, Big Lou? I see you in the background chatting. And this is all for the people who watch this later. A lot of people end up watching this stuff later. What's that?
Invite him.
Invite who?
Invite him on Skype.
Who? He's right here. I see him. I see him. That's all that matters. We go through this every show. Marty always wants to see me. And he's like, Skype, and I'm letting him hog it up the bandwidth and everything, and it just makes the stream shittier than it already is. So anyways, that's Locksmith. He's taught me everything that I know. And he just decided to blow in here like the wind today and grace us with his presence. And then he's tickled my fancy with what he ordered, which was what? You ordered what flight control board?
Maytech 765.
Say it into the mic and say it with your chest.
Maytech 765.
Yeah. That's the hot stuff. That's the big one, man.
Yeah, it's the newest one. And the cool thing about it is it's got the OSD in it, which I've never had. I've been using PixHawk. And
right.
So having all those BECs built into it, so I don't have to convert and add.
Get to the mic. Get closer to the mic.
I'm closer.
Yes, there you go. Mike, like Marty will hump that thing.
It's a big black.
Yeah, there you go. And a little crowd laughter. I splash of that. I don't have any of my. Normally I have a soundboard that goes, but I left the adapter at home. Normally you'd hear a lot of applause and laughter just to, fill in all the dead air. But anyways, so you're going to go ahead and build. You were talking about a shed. You got me more excited.
Yeah, so I got my lawnmower shed out there, and there's a big pine tree beside it, and I am going to put a mast that's 20 feet tall in the top of that tree. Yes.
And it's going to be made out of wood, isn't it? Because he's the freaking Bob Vila FPV. Like back in the day when you built that ground station, it was all wood. Well, remember that, Marty? That thing was pristine.
This will actually be PVC.
Oh man, he's going cheap.
And then EMT metal,
but you're going to have that mounted perfect. Like it's going to 20 foot up. And
I got a friend who's a tree climber. He's going to put it up the base.
He's got a squirrel.
I got the squirrel.
You got a squirrel. You got yourself a
Got
squirrel.
a squirrel. But yeah, so I'm on my way to Lowe's to go pick up that stuff, and
So you're doing it today?
yeah, well, at least going to get the stuff to do it today. Yeah.
All right, so it's actually happening.
So I've been thinking about 2 weeks, talking to everybody about how to do it better.
This is like pulling an old G. This is like pulling an OG out of retirement. This is what it is to me. It's like, yeah, he's coming back out. I knew he would. God damn it!
It comes back.
Tell him that the first time we met, like not the first time, when we met at Horseshoe, and you came and you showed me that day when I was FPV and you were still doing the 3D. You were doing all the quad, the simple copter stuff.
Yeah, I was all manual, no flight controllers,
and you came in that day and met me. We met up at Dick's, and then we're like, "I'll go meet you up there."
Yeah, I remember.
And you went shopping. Do you remember how much you spent that day?
No, what? I don't
You
remember.
spent like $3,000.
That's right. You got me.
You
hooked
came
up
in.
with
You got so hooked. I just went and spent $3,000 last night. It's like what?
Oh, I'm doing it again. I'm
Yeah.
starting to do it again.
Amen to that, brother. Let's say Waylon's Diet Pepsi right here. We're cheering you right now. That's good stuff, dude. I am glad that you are back in the game.
Y'all discuss Eagle.
Luxman's looking around like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, Eagle Tree. Eagle
Ah.
Tree. Yeah, remember
We outlived the Eagle Tree, bro.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
What's wrong with that?
That's crazy. Like that's crazy. So, anyways, just letting everybody in the viewers know that watch this down the road. Yeah, there it is. He's the one who started. Now he's coming back out of retirement. And what are you gonna fly? Can you tell us anything about that, or you
anything
want to
and
tell
everything? But the concept is that where I'm flying, I can't fly high because
Right.
it's near an airport, and so I want to fly treetop level and below.
You like that stuff? Remember we did that back in the day.
Yeah.
Remember you made me go like 5 miles at 600 feet.
And you did it.
Yeah.
No fear, with no return to launch. It's like going naked in a hornet's nest. I mean, my God.
We always had Eagle Tree on there, and I was always the laziest that would never fucking get returned to home working. You guys would always bust my balls. And let me guess, the return home's not working?
Yeah, you'd be smoking that cigarette. It'll be fine. We're okay. You never
Well,
cared.
right there, Alliance. We're fine. We're doing okay here. Just sit down and shut the fuck up signs on right now. 21 and over, by the way. Yeah, those were the days, man. We can sit here and talk for hours about that kind of shit. People don't know, man.
100 degrees outside. He'd be in his van. He put a black tarp over his entire van so he could black it out.
And we had I brought my big screen TV and folded down the captain's chairs in the front, the first row of passenger chairs, and you and I sat in the back.
And people would bring drinks.
To bring us cocktails.
It was like having flight attendants.
It was. I had the lights, the dome lights on on the inside of the van with the AC on and the music on.
Yep.
And I think we were listening to Michael Jackson or some shit like that.
And what was the name of that radio station that had like an oldie show that we were listening to?
I can't remember.
But
All I know is we were sitting in the back drinking and having hamburgers and flying long range with the 77-inch wing, just hanging around all around town, just going everywhere. It was crazy. Those were the days. You don't do that anymore. You haven't flown it forever.
Don't do that anymore. No, I stay close. But
so you're gonna go for range, but are you going for distance?
well, no, it's penetration more than anything else.
Okay.
Within half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, and
You just want to make sure you have all that range.
I want to be
through
on the
treetops.
deck. I want to go down on tops of the corn around my house, which has lots of trees, and be able to do it and clear video without it breaking up. So.
Well, you also did this one thing back in the day, where you ran that whole mod where you ran two
the Damon relay.
The Damon relay. There you go.
Yeah.
I remember doing that with you, sitting there watching doing all that.
Do you know? Has anyone heard anything? Did he do any more with that? Do you know?
Not that I know of.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was crazy to be a part of watching you do it, because we met it like almost every day, and especially on weekends. It was all of us about barbecuing, and it would be like 20 of us.
Yeah.
And everybody be testing and doing something. They weren't just flying. Everybody was testing something.
Yeah.
And you were doing the Damon relay, where you would run one controller controlled two multi-rotors. You'd hike it up and park it, and it was literally a relay station for your quad racer to go everywhere else. And then you'd flip it, and the controller would then control your quad racer, right? Once you parked it.
And I'll tell you what I figured out why it didn't work. Remember, it didn't work. I mean, remember we got lines at half a mile out, got lines in the video. I'm like, this is terrible. So I just didn't do any more with it. Well, this time I just did it last week again.
You did?
Yeah, except
What the hell?
I used 2 radios this time, but what I found is when I turned off the radio going to the second copter, which I couldn't have done on the original design because I had to have at least one radio running.
Right.
That 2.4 was messing with the signal. And when I turned that off, all of a sudden I went out for as far as I wanted to go. It got rid of all the interference. So that relay sitting up there without the 2.4
yeah,
worked. And with the 2.4 it would not.
So the 2.4 was your issue.
Yeah.
The 2.4 was just squashing on the video,
Yeah.
making it all crappy. So now I can't believe you just went out there and did that. Didn't even let us know, Marty. He didn't even let us know. He was out there moonlighting the Damon mod. Like, this is a lot of people don't even know what that is. I mean, that's how far back this goes. When was that? That was like 13 or 14?
Yeah, it probably was, yeah.
I think it was 13 or 14. I mean,
Yeah.
we go way back. So it's crazy. So now it's everything's going to be on a mast. Same concept, but now just put it on a mast.
Yeah, so to test the concept of how far you can transmit free sky signal over a wire, I took a 200-foot long extension cord. That's the only thing I did see. And I ran those little teeny wires that come out the back of your JR port into an extension wire.
No shit.
And it worked. The thing transmitted to the Crossfire module on the other end with no problem, and there's no issues with delay or.
So you're talking because we did that mod. We were doing the 2.4. We were doing the van stuff because we were doing the relay.
Converting it all over.
Yeah, we were transmitting 2.4 to a receiver on our ground station that converted it
430 or whatever.
433 or whatever we were running. It piped into there, and that's how we got our long range control. And then our video was the kind of reverse.
Yes.
1.3 was coming back, but then 1.3 was fed into
5.8.
5.8 video transmitter, which is when that was rebroadcasted to us sitting wherever we were sitting. So theoretically, what we could do is take our ground station and stick it anywhere.
Yes.
As long as we were within those two ranges,
Yeah.
2.4 being the main one.
But get rid of the two frequencies, and you just uncongested everything, and that's what the concept of wires up the tree. I ought to call it that. Operation Wires Up the Tree.
Operations wires up the tree. Don't slash laughter. I don't have my buttons, otherwise it would make sense. That sounds cool. So what have you just done then? You've extended the 2.4 range?
I've made it so that I can get PPM out of the back of the trans with no frequencies. It's just wired PPM signal out of the back of the trans up to the back of the Crossfire or RFD 900, which is
so you've hardwired it all the way up? Is what
all the
you're
way
saying?
up, yeah.
So instead of actually just oh, I see what you've done.
Yeah.
Now I see what you've done. You've literally now turned off the 2.4 transmitter.
Correct.
And you're just running a direct feed from the board, in essence,
Right.
straight all the way up a wire that goes all the way up to your Crossfire module.
That's it.
And you've figured out that it's putting out enough strength
To go 200 feet.
to go 200 feet and can actually travel. Wow, dude, that's crazy.
So Cat 5, I got to get me some Cat 5.
So you're going to get Cat 5 cable, and you're going to run that wire.
And that'll give me video down, and it'll give me control up for those wires. And then
See, he's the one that taught me everything, folks. Like, listen to him.
Well,
Mad scientist.
Half of it never works.
Bullshit. All your stuff. You've gone. I remember the time that you took the cadet senior. Was it the seniorita? Whatever.
Senior?
The senior, and you ran that thing 12 hours. I remember you started like 7 in the morning, and we would all come by throughout the day.
That was the
and check
sheer
up in
luck.
on you. And
That
you
was sheer
actually
luck.
made that thing go autonomously for 12 hours.
Yeah.
How many miles was it?
It's over 400. It's like 412 miles it went.
Yeah, it was because that was about your original plan. We won't discuss that, but
7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
yeah, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I remember that because we all kind of
Mar-
came by in shifts, make sure we check in on him, make sure.
Marty
he was
brought
okay.
out the big screen, and I believe there was some drinking, a little bit.
That's not what you got to do, right? Might as well.
Yes.
It stayed up, right, for 12 hours.
For 12 hours.
It was ran on gasoline, right? It was
Yeah,
gas.
it was a Horizon Hobby. What is it? They forgot the brand name. A little blue-headed 6/10 cubic inch gasoline ignition. It was the smallest gasoline motor you could buy.
Yeah, you did all the research on that. Like,
Yeah, that thing.
I remember that was a whole long project, and it was. That's the thing that people don't realize. These guys are the OGs to me. Like, these guys were doing all kinds of crazy shit. That it just amazes me. And then here we are again. He's figuring out other shit.
It was one gallon of fuel on
1
board.
gallon.
I only used like 8/10 of that, and the battery died first. The big ass 6-cell that I had powering everything.
Yeah,
died.
because you're running everything that electronic wise off one battery on board.
Had an FPV camera on the fuel tank.
Oh, yeah, you had an FPV camera on the wingtip looking at the fuel tank.
That was lit up from behind so you could see the fuel level on the side of the fuselage.
I wish you had some still images or anything of it to show.
Yeah,
'cause
I've known.
for show and tell, like some of these stories are like, you'll forever remember these if you stay in this hobby.
Verified telemetry.
Oh, yeah, you did everything. So now you're on the quest to get this to stay low on the deck, get low on the deck. Like really, like what's the minimum or what's the maximum?
In other words, I
down?
don't care to flying higher in the trees. I mean, just don't
Okay,
care.
so you're wanting to buzz around through trees and long lines, stay low below tree tops, and that's your idea.
And the last part of this is I do have some really cool neighbors, and I don't like, at all making them feel uncomfortable. So I've been working with building a very quiet slow stick. I don't know if you remember the slow stick?
I remember your slow sticks. These guys would go to the damn beach. What, a whole bunch of you guys, like 15 or 20 of you guys every year for like how many years?
Oh, that's the different plane. That's the.
Then I saw you guys with the slow sticks, the big ones.
Those are we call stick burrs, but
Those stick burrs, okay.
slow sticks are a little tiny foamy that you can buy. They're actually selling them again at Aloft Hobbies.
Yeah.
But it goes super slow and it's completely quiet, and it's really small. So I got a PIX racer and put on it for automation, so it'll turn the launch if I get too far away. But you can't hear it. It goes right past you, and it's only going 15 miles an hour.
So it's a tractor.
No, it's a
puller.
It's a puller.
Yeah.
But the kicker is it could hit somebody. It wouldn't matter. It's just that slow and doesn't have any energy. Makes no noise. If they saw it in their backyard, I had to go retrieve
He's
it.
deep. Kids, he is deep into FOG territory.
What is that?
Fucking old guy.
Yeah, I don't mind admitting it. 52. It's time to start.
I don't.
adopting the new world.
It may happen to me one day. But you're there. But you're still innovating. Like I wouldn't have thought of hardwiring it up a wire, knowing that figuring out that it would go 200 feet, and you're still going to be able to get the signal to the Crossfire module, which will then interpret it and then send it to your craft.
If that works,
Yeah,
and
man.
it should. I mean,
Then your video's the issue.
the video will be the only other part.
And how are you going to do that?
Well, the video signal can go easily. That's not a problem.
You going to 1.3 it?
I'm not sure what frequency group I'm going to go with first.
So
Probably 1.3.
So just to give you an update, like because you haven't been around a while, I don't know how much research you've done lately, and I know you do a lot. 5.8's gotten a lot better.
Okay.
Now there's like video transmitters that are recommended to use. Unify Pro, TBS Unify Pro, the 800.
Okay.
That'll give you that punch through trees and whatnot, but I don't know how much it will go. I just know it works.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the gold standard.
Well, I asked you about those antennas for 1.3, the ones that look like they're PCB antennas, I believe.
Yes, I have them right there. They're in the back. I can show you them.
And you like them?
Yeah, they're Alex's. They're the green on the PCB board.
Okay.
They normally come with ready-made RC's kits now that they sell 1.3. They have, I guess, a deal with him, and his antenna comes with it. So I used them for the first time on the last builds that I just done.
Okay.
And yeah, man, they work great.
Will be perfect for that slow stick because that slow stick is so small and so lightweight.
Yeah.
It needs every bit of help it can get, not getting heavy.
Yeah. So you'll be able to feel it in the back, see what it is. Now mine broke off, so just mindful where you mount it because they're not.
What has not broken off on you?
Well, it won't break off on you. And little laughter. I don't have my buttons. I feel naked. So yeah, they work great. So range-wise, I've gone 6 miles, no problem, running just a crosshair. As
I don't need that.
I'm just saying that's what you can get. Running on the ground with it, I was getting good punch through, but I was running the pepper box then, so I would angle the pepper box where I was going, and I'd be half mile. And still getting video. So
I'm wondering, would it be better to go? See, I could put on top of this mast thing that I'm building. I could do a antenna tracker, but probably not with a 1.3, massive antenna. I need something small, either 2.4, which I've got all three now. I've got 2.4, 1.3, and 5.8.
I go 1.3.
Okay.
I would use that antenna and see how it goes.
Okay.
The problem on these are the nulls. Remember we were testing all the other antennas back in the day? So the nulls on this one are pretty prominent. So when you bank and if you're at distance, you'll fall into that null. It's very noticeable.
Okay.
So now that you are theoretically, I would assume it's going to be going down because you're going to be down low, or are you trying to be on the deck punching through everything?
Well, I mean, most of the fields are open, but there'll be tree lines that go across fields.
Yeah, right.
And it'll get behind those. So it's going to have to go through some tree lines that are near the model. Not
Are you going to mount your receiver, your 1.3? Are you going to run if you say we're running 1.3, are you going to run a pepper box?
I don't think I could lift a pepper box up there. No, it'd be too much. I don't know, though. I mean, it depends on when I get to Lowe's how much it costs to get big.
I guess my not to cut you off, just so you know how I am. I'm thinking in my mind that you would, if you're going to be flying in a certain area, because it only does 180, right? Pepper box at its best is 180.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's directional.
It's directional. So, but if you run that in an Omni,
Diversity box, yeah, it would take care of that.
Would take care of that. But I would mount my pepper up high, mast it up like you're doing this, angled down, tilted down. Because if you're never going to go up,
I don't know if
angle it down just a little bit so then that beam width's down and hitting everywhere you want to go. Because that will punch through.
The pepper box?
Yeah, the pepper box will punch through, man. That pepper box, I tested it, and it was a half mile down the way where we normally fly nowadays up at Wake Tech. And I was getting video, and I was on the street punching through trees half a mile away.
Yeah.
And that's and running that antenna, that VTX antenna, that PCB one.
Yep.
So I would go that route. 5.8 with 800 milliwatt TBS Unify Pro. Ruse swears by them, and we've tested them. And LOS, they'll go 6 miles.
Good Lord.
Yeah, man. And then we're just talking running your head, just goggles with a diversity on your goggles, and that's it. No ground station.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 miles.
Well, something to play with. That's the way I look at it. It's not a big deal to me if it works or not. It's just something to get my mind around, a creative project. And
it's going to be pristine as usual. It's going to look all pretty. It's going to have some sort of wood carving, something you've made out of wood.
Actually,
what do you call it when you whittle something?
Well, the problem I've got, one of the problems is that the tree grows. So if you attach 2 screws into a tree trunk and the thing starts to grow, it'll split whatever you've connected those 2 screws to.
True.
So I got to make slits in it and make it where it'll move.
See, listen to him. Listen. There's the guy who thinks about all the details. He's talking about allowing it to grow because the tree's going to grow, so he doesn't want to screw it in there. He's going to put some sort of bracing around it so that it will grow.
And I know someone's done this. I've been all over the YouTube, and I can't find anyone doing videos on it. But
probably no one's done it.
Well, I think it's been done. I mean, they're trees, and people need altitude. So
you might be that one guy that finally figured it out. Like, hey, I need to do this.
Well, maybe you'll get someone that'll reply to your video and they'll say, "Hey, I know how to do this. I've seen it, or I've done it." And that.
Well, I get some comments here. I got a couple comments, and I think it's just Big Blue. True RC antenna works well on the antenna tracker. Not super heavy and compact. There you go.
True RC. Oh yeah, I think.
True RC's antennas.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, so they make different sizes. There are some smaller 1.3 antennas.
Are those True RCs considered the best brand now, or is it still Alex's stuff?
Alex's stuff to me is, you'll have 2 sides of the camp. I'm going to be honest. You're going to have 2 sides to the camp.
It's always that way.
Yep, it is. Alex's stuff is what I fly. Yes, he's my sponsor, but I do fly his stuff, and to me, it works great. Now, there are others who swear by True RC stuff for, like, FPV, the DJI FPV system. With that, funky goggles that's out now for HD for all these quad racers, and it's everything now. You can see DJI quality. They say True RC works better versus VAS. Some people do. So.
Oh, I meant to ask you: are you using the OSD on the Maytech that you got, the Maytech 765?
So I have the 405.
Right.
Little Corolla version, like my car. I run the OSD when I'm doing long range. I have it right now on my mini drac. And it's only really on there so I can get my crossfire working because I don't have the module to make my nano crossfire receivers 4-channel. You just buy a little adapter. It's like $15. Mm-hmm. I need to get it. And so I have to run iNav. So the answer is yes, it's there, but I don't use it all the time. I usually have it turned off. I have it on a switch so I can turn it off. Now when doing long range, I keep it on and it works great.
Are you using you got multiple cameras or just one camera?
I just got one.
So it's got a switch on it, I understand, too. You switch between multiple.
Yeah, you do.
This
thing can do everything. I'm telling you, man, this thing is the shit.
I can't wait to get it.
I mean, there's a reason I think Eagle Tree might be bowing out. I mean, it's a big game over, done. These guys figured it all out because it really is. I mean, the Maytech boards are really they are turning into like Toyotas, man. They are fucking reliable. They fucking work. They really do. I mean, you're going to have some duds here and there, but all in all, and the system that it runs, which is beta flight, basically, or clean flight for you.
Or
base
APM.
flight.
APM.
Yeah, and
when it,
I heard some people say you can even flash it with Eagle Tree stuff.
really?
I don't know if you can, but it was a. I
Slow
heard
will take anything.
I heard it in the I heard it in the bathroom kind of talk. So I don't know if there's any truth to that. So
But I mean,
I don't want people to
Pixar,
think that.
the Cube is like over $200, and if this does more than that and it does it reliably, I don't see how Pixhawk the Cube has got a chance. I mean,
So to answer your question, Big Lou's saying VAS is the best brand, but True RC is comparable. So.
it's okay.
Or comparable, I guess it says. It's comparable. Certain boards can do APM, he says. So you're right. So you put APM, and you like that shit.
Yes.
And I'm used to clean flight from my quad days. So the iNav, running their iNav stuff works great. It's very easy. It's just like a vector. It really is. I think the only thing that I don't like is their running variometer, which they do have, is not a graph. If it was a graph, I think that would be really cool. And the readouts seem to be accurate. I don't think it's flubbing that much. You know, some of these boards kind of remind me of the old school boards way back when, the Cyclops and all that shit. You remember all that shit?
This, man, you're going KK too on me, man. Good Lord, Cyclops.
Back to multi-wee boards.
Whoa.
Those back in the day, those were the OG original. That was B4 Eagle Tree stuff. And
Boy, those are good times, though.
Yeah, they were, man. We were testing all that crazy crap, dude. Best would come out and have one, and then I was like, God damn it, I got to go try one of these out. Like, we were learning about OSDs. We didn't even know what the hell they were. And we're out there buying them, and then that's when we finally stumbled across Eagle Tree. Sad for them going out of business, but remember that? We got the OSD Pro, and we're like, oh, man, these are fucking expensive. You got spaghetti wires. You got 15 freaking modules onto this thing, and you're like, God damn.
Remember when we hooked up your PC and it had Google Earth, and you could see a three-dimensional view of the Earth as you were flying, and it was like so clunky and slow that you could barely tell what you were looking at.
It would always be malfunctioning.
Yeah.
We could never get it to work right, but you could record the data and then go back later that night and then plug it in the software, and then it would play back exactly where you went, and which was kind of cool. It would show you how high you went, in 3D, and it was clunky. It was just but it's sad to see him go because Eagle Tree was literally the gold standard. Like the Vector eventually became, that's what it.
Yeah.
It was just bulletproof.
I remember when you got it. It was more than I wanted.
And then
to
when
spend.
it went down the same day,
But I do remember. I remember being envious. You are the first with the Tyrannus.
Yeah.
And you had to convince me on the Tyrannus, and I was like, I don't want more complexity.
Yeah.
And you're like, you got to get this.
Then this is when I had it on switches. I had wave files on there, and I was like, I played one. It was
what?
It would say Shelby Vols one sexy FPV pilot. I plugged it into one of those free websites you can go to where it will digitize and speak whatever you type.
Yeah.
That's where I get those wave files from. Then you just download the wave file, and I plugged it into Tyrannus. And Tyrannus is great. People still run that damn thing, man. It's gotten replaced by what's called the Jumper.
Yeah. The Jumper.
Jumper's even better.
Yeah, I know.
It's the new upgrade. That's the best bang for your buck is the Jumper. So now that you're coming out of retirement,
I know.
it's a good day here in FPV world, kids. Especially for me, Shelby.
I'm watching Joshua Bardwell and the other guys on there, and they're talking about that Jumper, and I'm like, yeah, it figures. The Tyrannus won't die. It just won't.
There's no reason. Here, put it this way. There's no reason to go and get a Jumper other than it's the latest, greatest, and it's it's the new Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
I mean, you
that's
still have a Toyota Corolla, but it's older version. And it's still going to run forever. Yes, they run for a long time. I got one on display in the back there that still works, but that's the one you remember that we still can't extract how many hours that it's been used. Because I want to know as much as you do.
It's not even the hours either. It's the way you treated it during the hours. I mean, I've never seen one get so close to running over their transmitter with their car every day. It's like you abused that thing and it just never quit.
It never quit. And I mean, we used it so much that those 2 years that we were like every day, almost every day for 2 years. The paints wore off.
You were jamming a screwdriver in the buttonhole. Remember that day? I said, "Let me fix this for you."
I now do recall that one. I forgot about that one, dude. Where the pads had fallen out.
Yeah.
And I was like, here, I just need a screwdriver so I could select what he was selecting.
trusted
Meanwhile,
this
this is
thing.
for a long-range
I know,
flight.
I was
Mike.
gonna say, you're
We're going to
fine.
go like 10 miles away. And I was just like, screwdriver's fine.
I mean, it'd be like NASA doing a countdown, getting a 10, something goes wrong, and the guy goes, don't worry about it.
Let me get some-
flicks his cigarette out.
Or he grabs some gum out of his mouth. He's been chewing all day. Here, let's stick it on there. That's good. All right, go ahead. Go for lunch. I mean, there's stories. There's tons. There's tons. I mean, you and Marty showing up in the dead of winter. We go to fly at Wake Forest. And it was cold. It was like 20-something degrees.
And the wind was howling.
The wind was howling. I think the wind was like 20-something miles sustained. It was like in the 20s
And you
for
had that
sure.
penguin.
And it had the penguin.
You abuse that thing like
Oh, I
a
can
horse.
show you ugly. I got Miss Piggy in the back, whom you really hate.
Man.
Yeah, that thing's it's flying 4x6. It's literally it's a fence post flying around.
But the character. I mean, no one has ever made a plane like Miss Piggy.
Well, the penguin lasted a long time. That one I got most money out of that damn that damn frame. And we launched that one day, and you were like, screw this, it's too cold. And you go back to your car, and so does Marty. And so I'm out there in my chair flying, and I launch it, and it just sat there. It didn't go anywhere. It just hovered. And I was like, I guess we're doing this. Put my goggles down, sat down. It just hovered it right there for a while, for I don't know how long it was. I don't remember.
Do you remember checking out the Porsches at night?
Oh, yeah, that video. Oh, man, that was a great one. You would sit in the parking lot. Actually, that's where I went and got my Toyota was right
That's
there.
when you were good. You could actually fly low, and you were confident. And we went to a Porsche.
Yeah, because you
dealership.
saw the beginning, dude. You were there from when I was flying, just running around in laps at Dick's you've seen it all. You've seen it from the very, very beginning.
And you were flying around those cars. I'm thinking, these are $100,000 cars.
Yeah, it was the
Finest
Porsches.
car, right?
Yeah, that was right.
At any rate, you were no problem.
You were, and that was with the Penguin. That was with the Penguin. Oh.
I have to get that back to that one.
And then I'll let you go because I got to take a commercial anyways. You were out there one night. Remember we did a little bit of a long range from the same location, and you went out there with what the hell lamp was
I
that?
got a landing light off a Cessna, a little 12-volt bulb.
You were
I'm out there
you were flashing it up and
filter.
down, so because we were next to the highway where there's so much light, you couldn't distinguish what was what because all the new car parking lots. So I'm up there flying around, and he's out there at the edge, and meanwhile he's standing right next to me, but my mind detaches and I'm up there and I'm looking for this blinking light, and that's how I would land. And that would land right there.
And we did the cups with LEDs in them, which didn't go anywhere.
Or we had the cops show up. Remember that? And we strapped their mag light to the fucking the Hercules with all 6 batteries in the Hercules with the mag light. And who the hell? It was you. You ran the thing. If it wasn't you, it was Tom. One of you guys ran the Hercules down the way to get it airborne because it was so heavy.
That wasn't me.
It must have been Tom. And it was great. Those were good times.
Yeah.
Cops
Tom
were driving
Chalker.
by.
I
Yeah. I think it was him because someone had to run it down the way because even then I couldn't launch it with the mag light on there. But yeah, stories abound. I'll give you applause, but I don't have it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick 5. When I come back, I'm going to actually do the video editing part. That's what I titled this damn live stream as being. But anyways, you're here, so I figured I'd chew your ear.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. It's always good seeing you, brother.
Same here.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick 5, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Can you tell a dream feel on a cold steel rail? A smile from a veil. Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for gold? Hot ash trees, hot air from a cool breeze, cold comfort change. Did you exchange? Walk on part in the war, or a lead role in a cage. How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. Have we found the same old fear? Wish you were here.
What are you gonna try to do? What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. No lights, no nothing. That's just how we do it. I don't even have my buttons today. It's ultra naked, but it's me, Shelby, the pilot. I'm gonna do these, not me, Shelby, on the show. So, and we'll still have funnies. We have a good time. We had Mark show up, Locksmith, who is my OG, who taught me everything, and they're still over there gabbing. But anyways, so they're talking, and he was gonna try to stump. He's trying to quiz Locksmith. Locksmith is a former flight instructor. Trying to ease in on there. Well, anyways. So what we're doing on this video right now is, so I went and flew the V3, the RiteWing RiteSpec. And if you don't know, it's on my top 5, literally top 3, top 2. It would be at number 1 if it would hold an HD cam. That's the only reason. That and its portability, as far as you getting in everywhere you want to go, can kind of be a pain in the ass. If you wanted to take it to another state or whatnot, it would be kind of a pain in the ass. So those are the 2 factors for me. Other than that, it is unbelievably a phenomenal frame to fly. The solid one does really well, and yesterday was adverse weather. We had a lot of wind, so if you fly a lightened version, where it's cut out and everything, the wind's going to really bang on it more, and it makes it even harder to fly and not enjoyable. But the solid version RiteSpec will handle the wind much better. Now, putting in percentages, 15% maybe better. It's noticeable. Let's put it that way. And yesterday was one of those days. It was really windy, but it would die down and it would come back, and so you'd have these lulls in the wind where you could have a chance to do a run, and then occasionally it would bounce you around. So I've got footage. Unfortunately, no, it is not HD footage because, again, that's the problem with the RiteSpec or any of them, is getting the ability to get a quality HD. And what I'm on the hunt for this year is I want hyper smooth on these things, because no matter how much you dial in a wing, unless you fly it in perfect weather conditions, meaning no wind, you're always going to get shake and wobble in the video. And I'm looking to make good video, smooth, and just show all this, but in a much more smoother format. I mean, that's because over the years I've heard this over and over and over again. Like, video would look so fantastic if it just didn't have all that jitter, because you can tell it's a wing right away. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. But there's some purity to it, and you're trying to sell them on the idea, well, a wing is, in essence, it's a different animal, which it is. You're doing this whole, like, pitch and stuff. And I'm like, I kind of agree with them. It would look better if it is hyper smoothed out. And I used to be a poo-poo on it all the time, but actually more now that I'm doing it, more I actually like it. Either way, the V3, when it gets dialed in, it's built right. Everything's done the way it's supposed to be done on that frame. And I'm talking running spec motor and a spec battery, nothing going off the charts. The frame just flies like nothing else. When you put it where you want it to go, it's going to go there. It's not going to deviate. It's not going to lift or anything. It's just going to go there. It's kind of like a hardcore 44. If you've ever had the experience flying one of those, that's what that RiteSpec does. And yesterday was just a wonderful day. It turned out to be this spot where we have been going to over the years. Part of it got cleared out, a little trail, and created this great run that Rue's been mentioning over and over and over again. He's been doing it with his quad, and now we tried it, I think, a week ago to run it, and I couldn't get the mini drac in there. The mini drac just cannot turn, especially in the first turn of this run, sharp enough without tip stalling. So it just won't do it. So it might, now that I've ran it enough. Anyways, so this is the footage of doing this run, and it's with a well-built, by Marty Booth, a V3 RiteSpec by RiteWing, and just going to show, I figured, well, you know what, this is really good footage. I really, really like this. It's DVR footage, which I don't like, and I think everybody does, but you got to see how this frame flies. And I figured, well, it's not only showing that, let's also get into a little bit of video editing, because some people have a lot of footage and they just don't know how to edit. They've never had anybody really show them the 101s. And as I'm going through this process, because I'm not going to keep this long, I like to do these videos as short as possible. I'm just going to point out some pointers that I do, some very basic 101s on video editing, to get you to make me start posting some footage that you haven't done, or maybe it'll tweak and make your video just that much better. Who knows? So, without further ado, let's see if I can't share my screen without jacking everything up. I have no buttons, no timer for myself. So if I do this, okay, all right, so I'm going to do this. Transition over. All right, you can see me. Minimize that. Minimize this, and you should be able to see the whole screen, and there. Good. Yes? I think so. Hope that didn't screw it up, but I'll check in a minute. First things first, when you are editing footage, the number one thing to do is have what's called a workflow. So, in other words, where do you, when you get your, like right here on my screen, this is where I plug the SD card in. When you get your footage, where do you put it? Do you just drop it on your desktop, kind of like this? This is for the show. It usually gets cleaned up on Tuesdays. I'm not lying either. That's the truth. I'll clean all this shit up and put it in its file, because workflow is key. How you download your files, where you put them, just makes everything much easier. So I usually have a drop files here first folder, and it's right here. So there's my folder. So everything that's in here, I just grab it, yank it, and just drop it into this folder right there, and then I'll determine which of the footage I'm going to keep, and then delete whatever I don't want. And then I will go over to my video editing software and create and I'm using Final Cut Pro. And I recommend you use Final It's I think all around best for you, the user, the end user. It's a lot easier. You can get what is it, Premiere or whatever. It's a lot more robust. I mean, it's a Mac versus a Windows. Same thing applies here. Most stuff Mac or Apple based is more user friendly. May not be as robust, but when it comes to video editing, Apple seems to they seem to have it down with this for you, the user. So use this if you can. Stuff still applies though if you're using anything else. Even if you're using DaVinci Resolve, how you import all your stuff's crucial. Put it in a folder where you can get to it easily. Pick the ones you're going to want to use. Open up your software, and then before you do that, also have music in mind. What kind of music are you wanting to create for your fans or create for yourself? So my videos, more often than not, are a story or there's something involved. So I try to put some feeling into my videos, my FPV footage and all that. 95% of the time, 90% of the time. Some of the footage is just, hey, check it out. This is what it is. This is kind of like one of them. This is a video where it's like I'm not putting too much heartfelt shit into this. This is more of like, hey, I just really want you guys to check this out. Look at this thing. This is what a RiteSpec can do. And for that matter, I'm not just want to single out RiteWing. Other frames in the spec class environment, including TBRC and Wingcatcher and the VAS, they all perform well in their own right. Different ways, they all fly a little bit different. They are all specs, and they're all good in their own right. So I want to make sure that's clear. But me personally, yeah, fanboy's got to be fanboy, right? Otherwise, you can't call me a fanboy, huh? So yeah, a V3 is the shit to me, absolutely. Yeah, and I've flown a lot of other people's frames. This thing is amazing. So this footage, the song I picked is just something I grabbed. It's a U2 song, a remix. Threw it up there. Yes, I love U2. They're one of my favorite bands. But be that as it may, I just grabbed something and I was like, all right, let's see if we can just throw this on here and see if it works. But what I'm trying to stress, have songs in mind that you're going to use down the road that'll help you. And then go out and actually, like, hey, I really like this song. Go out and fly with that song playing in your ears and then try to do a freestyle run. That's ideal. It's the best thing that could happen. You've planned it all out and like, I got a song and I'm going to go out and fly to this song in my headset and do a whole run. I've done that and it works. Those are golden moments. More often than not, you're not doing that. You're just listening to whatever and you're just flying for the flying. And you're like, that was a good run. Now I need to find some song for it. So keep a running library of music you like. If you have a hard time finding music and it's because it's copyrighted and you're afraid of getting copyright slammed, don't monetize your videos. I don't monetize any of my videos, if you noticed. None of them. Not like they really weren't being monetized anyways. But I don't because of one thing. If I don't monetize my videos, they free up more of the copyright problem. So now I'm able to post more videos with more of a traditional or a song that people do know, kind of, sort of, if that makes sense. And I just get a remix version of it. Make sure you're crediting these people who have made these remixes if you're going to do that route, and you should be fine. So don't monetize, and you should be good to go. They'll always kick back and give you like, hey, yeah, there's a copyright claim on your video. I always get those. I get them for every show that we do. I'll get one for this one. And it's like, oh, there's no copyright strike. Just letting you know that the owner of the said music or whatever they've used has chosen to either watch your video, collect data, or monetize it for themselves. So be it. Let's go back over here. So, and what was I going to say? Hey, the Locksmith, did he leave? Oh, okay. Is a place to download. Kind of giving you all what I do. Y2 Mate. Y2 Mate. Y2 and Mate. The number 2. Go there. Grab the link that you say, I got a song and I got a remix of it. It's on YouTube. It's got to be on YouTube. And you go and you grab it. You grab that link, that URL. Drag it over to Y2 Mate. They'll leave you a box where it says you can drop it in. Paste it there. Hit download. Or hit convert, and it will spit out, what it can actually download for. And they'll give you like 720 and 360 and whatever. You just want the audio file. It doesn't matter. Grab any of the top ones. Whatever comes in. 720, 1080 if you're lucky. Download it. and then drop it into your timeline. There you go. You got your music. Don't worry about copyrights, and you'll be fine. So kind of giving you a bend in the rules a little bit, but it works. So there's some pointers, and you can use that for anything. It doesn't matter what editing software you're using. So let me go ahead and switch back over to here, and I'll show you. So right over here is my timeline. I picked a clip that I want. I have actually a couple clips from yesterday, and I picked this one song right here. It's U2 With or Without You, Timid remix. So all my songs, I don't play the original. I play the remix version, because that also reduces the chance of it getting copyright slammed. And usually the remix, it's a little more upbeat, it's got more of a tempo to it that will aid in showing your video. So there you go. Grab my clips, and I grab the whole thing. So I'll grab the clip, and I just drag them and drop them right on my timeline from my Drop Here First folder. And it gets dumped into once I've created the, at least in Final Cut Pro, you're going to always create your, sorry, let me backtrack. You'll create a new project. I'm not going to get into all these details. I'm just going to get to the nitty gritty. So however you do your editing software, however it does to create a project, you guys do all that. What I'm getting to is just how you do a basic edit. So that's what I want to make sure I'm saying that to myself as much as I'm saying it to you. So this is the file that I downloaded from Y2Mate. So notice it's got if I turn this clip off, you can see it right here. You know. So I don't need all that. However your video editing software goes, I go over here and I detach the audio because I don't want the video. I just want the audio. And then delete it, get rid of it. There we go. But I do want this. So this is important. I want to be able to see my sound file. So this whole wave file, whatever you want to call it, I want to actually see the sound waves. So before I do any editing, so I've found my clips, I've dropped them in on my timeline right here. These are the clips I'm using, and there's 3 of them, and it's way too long. I mean, it's fucking 8.5 minutes long, but and this is what I'm going to lead to. But we'll stick to the steps. First thing is first we go through the video, or the not the video, but the music, and we find its tempo. 3, 4, 2. And you don't know what it's going to be. Usually, little side note, if you're going to use anything that's like a techno or a electronic genre music, here's a word of advice. All of the music in that genre goes to a 4/4. So they go to 4 measures at 4 beats per measure. So 4 measures of 4 is what it is. So it's a 4/4. It's all they do the whole time. So it's 1 2 3 4, 2 2 3 4, 3 2 3 4, 4 2 3 4. Change. 2 2 3 4, 3 2 3 4, 4 2 3 4. Change. So if that makes sense to you, those will be the transitions in the music. So that's what you want to put these beats on your timeline down here. You want to have them in here because when you go to edit, you'll have all these marks of where the measures start and end. So let's see if I can catch it. Let's see if we can try it. It's best to go from the beginning and you just count it out. 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, bam, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, change, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, change, 2, 3.
See the stone sink in your eyes. See the thorn twist in your side.
Change, 2.
I'll wait for you.
3, 4, 2, 3, 4, change, 2.
Sleight of hand and twist of fate. On a bed of nails, she makes me wait.
Change, 2.
And I wait without you.
2, 3, 4, change, 2. 3,
Wait for without.
3, there you go. You can hear me do that for another, however long the song is, and you have to do that, mind you. So this song is 4 minutes and 22 seconds long. Who knows? I might make it 4:20. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I'm probably going to use the whole thing because this particular flight really has a lot of good footage in it. Unfortunately, it's DVR footage, but either way. The main thing to note from this step, though, because I want to keep this very basic, because it really is not rocket science. You can get all crazy with it if you want, but these are the very basic ways to just do a video edit. The main thing is get your video dropped into your drop file first folder, pick the ones you want and drop them on your timeline, just dump them on your timeline. Go find the video that you want to use or the song you want to use, go to YouTube and find it, take it over to y2mate.com, download it, okay? Make sure anything that pops up, you just close it. You just want to make sure you hit it'll pop a little screen that says download now. That's what you're looking for. So anything else that pops up, close it out. Otherwise, you'll start getting malware. And you won't get malware if you do it that way. Drag the song over here, drop it on your timeline, detach the audio if you can, and start marking your beats. So once again, this is a remix version. So remix versions are usually electronic-based music genre. And therefore, I'm telling you, almost 99% of the time, they run a 4/4 signature. So I do have a little bit of a music background, so it does aid me a little bit in this process. And you do the whole song, so you don't just stop here at 154. I'm literally going to have to play it all the way through. I'm not going to do that right now because you don't need to sit here and hear all that. And play it all the way through and get all my beats, all my measures marked, where it starts and where it ends. So I can go to anywhere in here, and plus now I can look and see down low on the actual file. I can actually now see the sound waves, the running line graph, if you will. I don't know what you really want to call it, but I can see the beats and everything. So I know right here was a change. You heard me even say it. It was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, change 2, 3, 4. That means the music should change at the beat of the next measure. At the start of the whole new thing. Right there, that's one. It does it again right here. You can hear the hi-hat. 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 Boom. Chop. That's chopping. Chop. You have a fade to a beat, to a break beat, and so there's a little bit of electronic background for you. But once you know how that music works, then it will aid when you go back to, say, watch your video, and now you're going to sit here and play, and I'll let you watch a little bit of this. I'm not going to spoil the whole thing because there's some cool shit happens in this. But we're going to play it through, and I'm going to see if this kind of matches. When I was doing my review of footage, and what I do is I go back to my desktop, and when I go to my drop files first here folder, sometimes I will actually watch the footage right there and play the song on YouTube that I found that I like at the same time. I'll just hit play, and I'm just it's wasting a little bit of time. But I want to see if this is really even going to work. Is this song even really going to work? So that's why it's very important that you actually have a library of songs that you want to use down the road. Always be looking out for new songs. Seriously, you might hear them on TV. You might hear them on a commercial. I've done that before. I'm like, I like that song. And then I could pull out my Shazam, and the next time it pops up, I'm kind of ready for it. Boom. Especially during like an NFL event or something like that. You might catch a catchy tune or something like that. So, or run, do a search engine on music that you like and see if there's a remix, or maybe it's the real version. Just remember, if it's the authentic version, you're going to get copyright slammed. They will come at you hard. So get a remix version. So moving on. So now I found my file. I've done all that. I dropped it in here. I've marked all the beats, we're going to say, even though I'm lying. You want to make sure that everything's rendered. Right now, I'm going to have a problem. Probably want to get to this mark right here because the file, my computer's a little old and it's a little slow. But I love editing on this. I'm just going to have to get a breakdown and get another Mac eventually. And you just got to wait for everything to render. So everything that you do on this timeline, your computer the software actually has to, do its thing and get it all set, ready to go. So there's that rendering process, but we're not going to wait for all that. Make sure you have enough headroom on your Mac. So like this, go over here, and there's another key thing for a Mac. Make sure that you have enough storage. See, I'm getting close, 34. Keep it like 60. Don't ever max it out. Otherwise, it'll slow it down and it won't work right. And go back over to here. Hope that didn't close out the whole damn thing. No, it didn't. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and play it. Let's see what it says. See what it does. It was yesterday. So this is fresh footage. And my debate is, just let it play and play the song. Again, man, I don't have a whole bunch of emotion in this video. Other than it was a great flight. It's DVR footage. You're seeing what I got to see. So it was just as shitty in the goggles. I was running HD3s too. By Rue let me use his. And see, the tempo matches kind of the flow of my flight. The song itself might not, but still cool. Everybody recognizes the song. Can't be without my V3, goddammit. It's this week's build. Yeah, I was hit full speed some of these runs eventually. This is a spec wing. This is rigged out with all spec gear.
Through the storm, we reach the shore. You give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you.
It's like my third flight on a V3 in like months. All right, so it goes on more and more, and then it goes down here. And then here's what you do. You take your files and you start figuring out, all right, you know, I like this and I don't like that. And you stick this up here. And like, oh, I like that. It looks snazzy. Oh, no, he didn't. Nope, not on that run. Turn the other one off. This is unstretched. I'll talk about that in a sec. Oh, did I stop it before the, just because I'm being silly now. Hold on. This is a good part right here. Watch this. Yep. Oh, no, he didn't. Get back on there. Get back on that line. That's what you got to do. Just one more time for everybody. So, all right. So the main thing is, yeah, you just checked it out, and it kind of flow. It kind of works. So, you know, I might just stick with that. But then you go through here, and now once you've marked all of your marks on your timeline for your music, and you've got all the beats down, now you start scrubbing through your entire thing and figuring out your clips. Now, here's a little advice for you when you get your clips, and you got long ones like this, like I do. Typical wing flights, you're gonna have long videos, so you got to really start picking at what you want. And I don't know if I want to. My dilemma right now today is I don't know if I want to do this just one flight right here, which is like 4 minutes long. I don't like going that long. Another note: 2 minutes 30 seconds. That's like the golden rule. Stick to that. Is usually what you want to be at. Anything longer than that, people just tend to fade away, and you got to really grab their attention. You know, these 4 and 5 minute long flights, people aren't going to get to the end of them. You'll find out in your analytics that people typically don't. So it's around 2 to 2.5 is what you really want to be. But some of this stuff's so good. You're like, what do I do? I'm like, I don't want to just bail on this footage. Some of these runs are just really, really cool, and that's where you as the creator have to figure out how much you are really wanting to. Do you want to just show what you want to show, or you really want to show everything, or what's your end goal? What do you want? And that's kind of where I'm hung up right now too. I should show this one long footage, or I chop it up again like my usual, and just splice it up and add the best of the bests. But I don't know. So the main thing to take away from it though is go in here, get your timeline, get your mark all your beats. I can't stress that enough. Okay, check it out real quick, see if it actually matches the flow of your flight, if the music is actually going to work. And then before you start cutting up your file, okay, now what I'm talking about, you turn this off so you don't have to keep it here and scrub. Okay, and that gets rid of the noise. When you're scrubbing through your footage, okay, you before you start kicking your blade on and starting cutting it up, right? You want to chop it up, and I only want 20 seconds of this, and then I want 30 seconds of down the way, and so on and so forth. When you're playing through, you'll start highlighting of your spots. Like that's where I got this little highlight right here, highlighting like cool spots in the video that I were like, I got to keep this one. Well, it's marked right there, kind of like I do with my music. I marked key points of interest of the video that I like, that I definitely want to show in the video, and I mark them with a little marker. When I'm going through and saying, oh, I like this run right here, for instance. Let's say I like this particular run. I'll mark it, the start of the run, and I'll wait till the run dies down and mark the end of the run. So that's what I mean by a run. So I'm running, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, blah, blah, blah. And maybe I say, okay, when I hit this gap right here, I'm going to call it quits because I keep going or something. I don't know. Yep. So I say, it's good enough right there. Then I hit another little marker, and there it is on my timeline. So now I can take my blade tool, and I get to go snip, and now I have the clip that I want, and say I don't want anything else till I get here, get snip, and then I can highlight what I don't want and delete it. But in this case, I don't want to do any of that. So I'm going to hit Control-Z in Final Cut Pro, get rid of all that, marks included. So highlight what you want. Don't cut anything. The next thing you want to do is you want to go into this file right here, for instance, and you want to go ahead and do start adjusting your color. Get it to look a little bit better, especially DVR footage. God, you can do whatever you can. People really hate DVR footage, and I don't blame you. It's not the greatest at all. It's like watching 1970s TV. But be that as it may, go in here before you cut anything up and go ahead and start jacking with whatever you want it to make it look like. You're the artist. Do what you want. They kind of have a same format every time I use DVR footage of what I like to, like a preset, if you will. And might even bump the exposure up overall globally just a little bit. Just a little. Check it again. Yeah, looks kind of good. Now, the whole clip has that color correction, saturation, whatever you've done to it, it's now on the whole clip. Now, go back here. Once you determine what clips you're going to use, say you've already marked them, you can go ahead and mark everything. You'll watch it through and mark what you want to keep. Now, go through here and cut it up. Now, go and get your blade tool and start snipping on the marks and deleting the ones that you don't want and keeping the ones that you do on your timeline. And therefore, when you go to edit, everything's color graded. Everything's color corrected the way you want it. And you don't have to go back. Say you did not do that. What would end up happening is you'd have 5, 6, 7 clips that all need to be adjusted unless you know how to go and do a hot fix. But I'm just trying to save you a step. So there's a way to get around it. But if you just do this in the beginning, you don't have to worry about doing another additional steps up there in the menu bars. There you go. So my dilemma is I've got this good footage right here. Obviously, it runs a little too long. I've got a good, wonderful clip right here. And then I got a great clip right here. So, I either just do the one whole run, which blew Rue's mind. He was like, this is crazy. Or I break it up and make 3 chunks into a possibly 3.5-minute video. And I got to weigh that out. So I'm not going to do that right now. It's going to take too long. It's a creative process. It could take hours for me to figure out what I'm going to do. I'll watch this video over and over and over again, multiple times. That's normal. If you're really into your editing, that's what you're going to do. You're going to really play the whole bit over and over again and see if it sounds right, if it just flows. And there you go. There's some pointers on that. What I'm going to go ahead and do is call it quits because it's been in like what, an hour. I don't like to be longer than that. And if I'm editing tomorrow again, I'll make sure I'll just do like another part 2 and show you what it looks like towards the end of the process and go over some pointers of what I've done and keep it very basic. Again, these videos that I like to do on the how-tos over the years, I don't like them to be complex, okay? Just the basics. That's all I ever try to get to. You can refine it however you want, especially in this case, you're going to use DaVinci Resolve, Premiere, or you're going to use Final Cut Pro. Those are the top 3 that you'll end up using for video editing. And what I just showed you now is just a very 101, how I do my workflow, how I get things rolling. And then tomorrow, I'll do another little brief live stream and show you the final version. If I can hold out, I don't know. We'll see. But until then, remember, like I always say, go get you some. Be safe to one another. Love one another. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Peace. I'm out.